Hello all you F1 2011 fans, this is Jack Acid bringing you a new video game series called I Am No Expert, which is going to be an F1 2011 career mode video game series. Hopefully this will be the first of 19 videos, probably post them alongside the true Formula 1 season here. As you can see, I'm starting off my career with Force India, which is one of 3 teams that I've never raced as since I've been playing this series dating back to 2010. The first of which is Force India, but also HRT and Renault. And I'm hoping that at some point here I'll have an opportunity to race for Renault, maybe in Season 3, something like that. But first things first, Albert Park to start. Beautiful day for racing. You can see my objective for this race is to finish 12th. And taking a quick look at the starting grid here, we got Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso on the starting row. Vettel, P13, a little surprising. Myself, P15. And my teammate Adrian Sutil qualifying 18th. So we'll see how this goes. Starting off on the grid here. I've opted to start the race on prime tires since I didn't qualify in the top 10, and the obvious hope there is that I'll be able to leapfrog the leaders later on in the race and hopefully make up some time and possibly steal some points. You can see here AI very slow in that first corner, make a little bit of contact with Aguilar there too, and no damage done. And hopefully we'll see a little bit of contact with Schumacher. Still able to keep it on track, running out of room there, and get a little over anxious, overshoot there. That's going to let Schumacher by easily. And trying to keep Aguilar behind me, and it looks like I'm able to do that and settle in at P11. So, and more contact with Schumacher. That pushes him off a little bit. Did not mean to do that. AI is just very slow through there. But I am able to get by him. And I can see now that probably going to be holding up a good train of cars as this race goes on. See if we can hold it together. And my difficulty settings for this race are Professional AI, and I'm running with all assists off with the exception of traction control, and I am using autogears. This is the first season where I'm racing with no corner race line, so I'm still pretty slow on some of these corners. Definitely do not have my pace up to where I need to be, so I'll be using this season as a benchmark to try and get better there. And you can see here, like, perfect example, I go wide, that lets Schumacher by again, and we'll see if I'm able to even keep pace with Schumacher. But I mean, already you can see the Mercedes is just already screaming. And I've just upped my fuel mix in the hopes that I can keep up a little bit with some of these guys, and again my hope is to try and finish maybe in the low top 10 or high top 10, however you want to put that. You know, maybe if I can finish somewhere between 8th and 10th, that would be a good start for the season. The other assist that I'll be hoping to do away with this year as the season goes on is reverting to manual gears. I've actually been practicing quite a bit with manual gears. I do my qualifying with manual gears, but I'm not totally comfortable on race day with it yet. But that may toggle off and on depending on the race, so you might see a change there. I'll always have my difficulty and my settings and everything posted in my description below, so if you want to take a look at that. And you also may notice down in the bottom of the description that I've added links for each lap. If you guys want to skip through to see the start of certain laps, if there's anything specific or interesting that happens, I'll try and put a time code in there to kind of help you guys jump around, because these videos are relatively lengthy, and I'm speculating that you probably don't want to listen to me blather the entire time. But and I also have a non-commentary version available now. Little lawn mowing there, and you can see now that, I mean, Schumacher is just long gone. I pretty much have no hope of keeping pace with those guys unless there's some kind of an accident or something goes wrong, and having a hard time even fending off the Toro Rosso, Aguilar behind me. He's probably going to be in my mirrors the entire race if these laps are any indication. And I saw just a second ago, it looks like Schumacher is running a good close to 2 seconds ahead of me, and we'll see what kind of gap I'm able to control. I see I've made a little bit of ground on him. Last time was 1:197, something like that, so I've gained about 1/10 of a second through here. And I'm still kind of learning where the slow parts of this track are for the AI. Conventionally speaking, or at least historically speaking, 2010, right up here in turns 10 and 11 was very slow for the AI, and I'm a little wide there. It seems like that's picked up just a little bit in 2011, so that's good. So I'm still kind of trying to find the slow corners here. I wish that they would patch that. Like I guess the PC version, there's a mod you can use or install that will speed up the AI through those slow corners, so you don't really have that. I guess you could call it an unrealistic or sort of an anomaly for the pace of the AI through these corners. Looks like I just turned my fuel mix down a little bit. That might be because I'm concerned about burning up my fuel a little too soon. You can see I'm holding up, looks like 3 cars behind me, and then Sutil, my teammate, is running, looks like maybe P15. So unless I have an off or some kind of dramatic, make a dramatic error, I'm hoping that I can ride this out until the pit stops. We're now on lap 4, and that tells me that the leaders, at least in these 20% races, typically teams starting on the options will pit around lap 4. So we'll see who goes in at the end of this lap. And you probably noticed my horrific corner cutting just a few turns ago. Sometimes I still get a little twitchy using the Xbox controller, so there's a reason why this series is called I Am No Expert, and that's probably pretty evident by now. Certainly not competing with the elite racers of the world, or at least the YouTube/World Wide Web world, such as Bortz and Stoop and those guys. But I'm working on it. This is all about having fun. And now that we're coming up to the end of lap 4, we should see some people starting... Oh, geez. This is just getting embarrassing now. We should see some people starting to pit, and I see, looks like 5 cars, so that should put me up to around P6. And yes, that is correct. So now I'm following Rosberg, but he is a good 4.6 seconds ahead of me, which means that I probably won't have him in my sights anytime soon. And looks like Aguilasari has either pitted or he was overtaken by Barrichello, because he's now running P7 behind me. So, and I do see that Sutil is still in line, so he has not pitted yet. It would be nice if you could actually determine your teammates' pit strategy and tire strategy before the race, but unfortunately I don't think that that is available to us. You can see again, I've corner cut there. It's strange, I've got my my rules and flags set to realistic, and yet I've never noticed a difference between realistic and the other setting, which is reduced. But you would think that I'd get a warning there. I've actually cut that corner probably 2 or 3 times already in this race, and yet I still don't get any kind of a warning. I almost take out a cone there. Yeah. And I apologize that I didn't actually show you guys my setup before the start of the race. I will do that in the preceding videos. Actually, I've already done Malaysia, so I don't remember if I captured that or not, so it might be China when I start doing that. Speaking of which, if you're curious about what I used for capture, this is running on an Xbox 360, and I'm using what's called an AverMedia Game Capture HD unit, and I'm very impressed with it. It's about 130 bucks, which is a lot cheaper than most video cards or other devices. Well, not video card, capture cards. Most units that you use for a console have to be directly connected to a PC, and this is a standalone device. And I was recording on it within literally under 10 minutes of getting it out of the box. But what's even more impressive than that is the compression. You know, I was thinking when I got it that I was going to have to run out and get a 500 gig, 1 terabyte external drive or something. It uses USB, by the way. And so when I got it, I thought I'd test it out with the little 4 gig, thumb drive I had. And it held like 40, 45 minutes worth of video in high definition. I mean, I was blown away. So then I went out and got an 8 gig drive, and now I've got about 87 minutes of capture in HD before I have to plug that into my PC to offload it. So, super impressive compression to be able to get that long a video on such a small storage device. So now we're rolling up to the end of old lap 6, and I'm going off into the grass. And Aguilasari, Maldonado are still behind me, and yes, they are stopping to pit. And you may have actually noticed at the start of lap 6 that I became the leader by default. The leaders went in to make their pits, so now I'm going to try and make up as much time as I can to create a gap, and hopefully I can build up some time here. And of course I'm just now realizing that I forgot to turn up my fuel mix on this lap, so clearly I was totally dialed in when I was doing this. But yeah, normally you would want to have your fuel mix up. Kind of strange, I'm just now noticing that I haven't seen my fuel go down to optimal at all yet, and I've been running on the high fuel mix for most of the race. Saw just a second ago the tire reading. Tires are falling off pretty good now. Pretty anxious to get those options on. And having a hard time estimating where I'm going to come out right now. I've got about a 7.5 second lead on Weber. So we'll see what happens here. I got one more sector to go and see where we come out. Right now it's estimating that I would rejoin 12th. That's typically off a little bit. I would say, if I had to guess, probably somewhere around 10. It seems like that rejoin thing is about 2 to 3 spots higher than what actually happens. So we'll wait and see here. And I'm sure I'm absolutely going to nail this corner, but good lord, I give up. I did not realize how bad I was handling that corner while I was racing, so definitely something to be more conscious of the next time around. And I don't know about you guys, but I typically turn my fuel mix down when I come into the pits. I doubt it makes that much of a difference, but every drop can count depending on the track. And pit stop of 5.4 seconds, not that great, especially considering that the pits are completely empty. It's going to be interesting if they put that in 2012 faster pits, as I almost hit the wall getting out of the pit lane there. And looks like I've rejoined P9. And what do you know, my old friend Aguilasari is behind me. And let's see if I can catch up with Heidfeld. I see him just up around Whiteford there. And now that I'm running on the options, we'll see if I can accomplish that. And of course you can see I've got ice cold tires, which are my least favorite laps to go out on, getting these things warmed up. And if there was one lap to be worried about the Toro Rosso, it'd probably be this one because of the cold tires. And you can see I'm cutting chicanes with a little more sense of urgency now, feeling the pressure. But hey, you know, at least I have urgency. So he's running. No. Oh, God. Okay, that's going to let Aguilasari by. And that's probably going to cost me that position for the rest of the race. I've still got a few laps to go, and I've got Schumacher all over me here. And there goes the pylon. There was a close call earlier with it, and I guess I decided that enough was enough. Oh, now I'm getting caught up with Aguilasari. So maybe these are the new slow corners on the track here. But man, when you get on the straights, he just really pulls away. So we're going to have to see what happens. I do have time to catch him if things go well. And at least I did myself a favor by not going off on that last corner. And here we have DRS enabled. And that's going to give me a chance to try and make up some ground, although he's still very fast on this straight. I've got my fuel mix turned up here for the last few laps. And I'll leave that up until I see the fuel gauge run low. So now we've got, oh wow, look at that, Aguilasari went wide. Unbelievable. That's it, P9. Back to P9. And that's going to probably keep me in the points because of that. Because even if Schumacher passes me, I'll at least be 10th. Of course, I should be careful when I say that because I can see that someone is behind Schumacher, and if I have any problems keeping it online here, someone could take advantage. And Aguilasari is probably already back on the road, even though I think he's officially not a threat to me at this point. Again, that's assuming that I don't have any problems.
pick up the pace. The car behind's closing in.
Never a good sign. Maybe I spoke too soon. So the good news is that I've got just about a second lead on Schumacher, just a little below. The bad news is that we're rolling up on the DRS zone, so no chance to really get out in front of him by at least a second. He'll be able to enable his DRS here, and I'm really curious how I'm going to hold up on this straight. You might recall Rosberg pulling away way early on, but look at this, holding up pretty well in the straight. Undoubtedly helped by the faster fuel mix and running on the option tires, and so that gives me a little bit of confidence here heading into the last 2 laps. And of course, just as I say that, I notice how much ground Schumacher's able to make up on me coming down there into Whiteford. The AI seems very fast through there. And I'm going to have to keep it on line. If we're a little wide there, Schumacher trying to take advantage. We actually had a little bit of a tangle here, right here on the track earlier in the race, so he's trying to exact a little revenge. And looks like this is definitely going to be a duel. And then I blow it really bad. Oh wow, look at that. Somehow Schumacher is not able to get ahead of me, despite the fact that I was in the gravel there for a second. So that's probably professional AI if I had to guess, because under normal conditions. But now look at Schumacher. He's really going for it now. He knows he does not have much time left. I'm feeling the pressure. Now, of course, we're coming up to the one corner I've been having such a hard time with all race. And, oh, wide again. Unbelievable. There goes Schumacher. Yeah, but at least I'm in the DRS. No DRS for some reason. That's strange. No DRS activated. But look at this. Holding up with the Mercedes very well down the straight. Might be able to get by him at the break point here. Yes, able to get by him. So, back into P9. And I'm holding up the train, and I don't care. And there's no question that my options had a lot to do with the fact that I could even contend right there. But still a lot of time. You can see I go a little wide there even. Still plenty of time to blow it here. And so I'm going to have to be a little extra focused getting it around. Oh, geez, look at that. I am definitely feeling it now. And that, of course, allows Schumacher to get right back on me. And this is going to come down to the bitter end. I can feel it now. Oh no, not again. Not again. Nope. Okay, able to stay ahead. And I actually have a little bit of a gap here, surprisingly. And again, I go back to that corner cut, and I can't believe that I wasn't at least warned that I was... I mean, I've gotten warnings. I've even got penalized for things much less egregious than that. And Schumacher all over me again. And guess what, folks? I got to get around this corner 2 more times. Let's see if I can hold up here. I'm going to be extra cautious. Yes, able to hit it okay. Schumacher is still breathing down my neck. Now let's take a look at the last straight into the last lap. Schumacher is definitely gaining on me. I'm going to let him go by if he can make it, but he does not. And I'm able to hold my line. Well, I gave him a chance. I did not block him. I did not cut him off. I figure if he's got the pace, he should go. And he was not able to do it, or did not do it, one of the two. And it looks like our close little call there might have cost Schumacher even more, because now Maldonado's running 10th. So I've got to keep it on track here for just about a half a lap left and be able to get some points out of this. Which isn't bad considering that I qualified 15th, and really, I didn't have a chance to mention it, really had a hard time qualifying. Felt lucky to get 15th, and that was my team objective, and I was barely able to pull that out, so I really was not expecting much of a result here. And you can see finally my fuel gauge is finally registering as optimal. I've been running that richer fuel mix for most of the race, and now it goes back to green and back down to orange. So it's getting down a little bit, but keep that in mind. On Melbourne, it seems like you can run that high fuel mix for most of the race, at least at 20% races, as Mark Webber crosses the line there. And I've got to get through this corner one more time. Yes, very cautious, not taking any chances. And get around this bend and punch it down to the final line. And so there we go, our first result here with Force India. I was able to gain about 6 places, like I said, 15 to 9. Yep, there it is. And I'm not sure where Sutil finished here. Let's take a quick look at the results. Wow, Sergio Perez running 6th, Weber there, and Hamilton and Button 2nd and 3rd. And looking down at the bottom, Petrov had a DNF, and Sutil finished 14th. So, outperformed my teammate there. That's always good news. And taking a look at the driver's standings, there I am in 9th place with 2 points after the first race. And I'll leave you guys with a handful of highlights here. Want to thank you again for watching. And if you're interested in seeing more of these videos, please subscribe or give me some comments or whatever it is that it takes to show your appreciation. And it's something that I'd like to invest some more time in. Here's that little duel with Schumacher towards the end there. Also, if you're interested in seeing some more in-depth analysis for this season, I suggest you check out my blog, which is going to be shown here at the very end. And I'll be providing a little more data analysis for the season itself as the season goes on. So, till next time, thanks again for watching. Jackass is signing off. See you in Malaysia.